Alrighty, I have a construction update for you guys today. So as you can tell in the parking lot, there have been quite the shipments that have arrived. Some of the catwalks and the steel structure for inside the mountain for the transfer track area have arrived just in that top left corner. I'll post a little screenshot here if I can find one. A lot of black supports for inside the mountain have arrived, and some other whatever you want to call them, Leviathan colored supports have arrived as well. So we are nearing the end of track and support arrivals. I would say we have about 85% of all track, and a good 9, if not all supports might be here, but if not, we're missing just very little. But as you can tell, they've installed a lot more track segments. So another 4 pieces were installed today. On Wednesday, they were about to install the 5th one, but they started to do what was site prep because of the snowstorm. I suspect they won't work Thursday because of the snowstorm, and I did see them doing a lot of site prep with tarps and covering things. So I was wrong, and they did do work during the snowstorm. So this is as of February 15th. They've almost completely finished the second element after the main launch. So that's really exciting, heading towards Extreme Skyflyer's plot of land. And they definitely poured the that one of the main footings for that double inverted top hat over there. So definitely a lot of progress, and they are working through weather. So that's really exciting. This is that main caisson for the double inverted top hat. But yeah, outside of that, back to the construction update. Here they are doing 1 out of 3 of the main footers, caissons for that double inverted top hat. So that's going to be that really awesome, I call it an iceberg looking support structure. If any of you have been paying attention, Premier has done a really good job of support design. I'll insert a picture right here of what I'm talking about, but a lot of their supports blend in with the area around them, i.e. the Vortex one and then the iceberg one coming out of the mountain. See right there, that's what I'm talking about, that turquoise that blends in with that exact support structure of Vortex, exactly to the angle. So I thought that was really impressive in terms of engineering. But here is another angle of the amount of track that has been installed. They are definitely building this in a very weird way, but it makes sense. They have a lot of areas that they're still doing the caissons for in terms of inside the mountain. And you can't have the track there if you need some of these arms for the excavators and the cranes to go in and lift, for example, that steel caisson inside that tight little space, and the workers to work in there. So they'll do that afterwards. But as you can tell, nothing has taken place over in the Extreme Skyflyer plot of land. There are still about 50% of the supports over there left to do, and they have a few little supports on the way in between Extreme Skyflyer and this current spot. So they are working on a water main right there. And that might be why they've stopped work in that area. But the track is heading that way. And I guess when they come back, they'll install some supports. But this is that area that I'm talking about, that caisson for the double inverted top hat. 1 of 3 of those support columns will come out right there. Again, I don't think anyone is really cluing in to the amount of head choppers that AlpenFury is going to have. This thing has so many close calls, tight spaces it sneaks through, and it just really entwines itself with the area that this coaster is passing through and along. So honestly, it's honestly a really impressive engineering designed coaster. I'm extremely impressed with how they were able to fit a lot of that support structure in the mountain without obstructing it too much. So very encouraged to see the pacing on this ride, as Premier promised us while we were at IAAPA, that the pacing maintains itself really well throughout the entire ride cycle all the way to the end. So I'm very excited to see that happen, and hopefully that is something that is a legitimate thing with AlpenFury. But even more exciting, I'm really excited to see what Canada's Wonderland has whipped up in terms of AlpenFury station. So right now they are working on the electrical and plumbing for AlpenFury's station building. So as you can see there's some plumbing, some electrical as well. Again, they were getting ready for the winter storm, so you're going to see them doing a lot of orange tarps to prevent the snow buildup in specific areas. No further work has taken place in terms of theming in AlpenFest quite yet. As you can tell, there's those black electrical tubes right there that they've covered in the orange tarps that were coming out of the launch tunnel there, and then there's some more electrical lines right there as well. So a lot of work has gone in by Hartwell into the electrical for AlpenFury, but in terms of AlpenFest, there's been zero progression in terms of theming. So I am really looking forward to seeing what happens with the theme. In true Cedar Fair / Six Flags fashion, I'm expecting something grand, but it is obviously a little disheartening that we haven't seen anything start to take shape yet. I do know that the station, I think we all know, sorry, I shouldn't say I know, that the station is going to be a giant chalet. So it looks like it's going to be a lot more grand than I was even expecting. So the station building looks like it's going to take up a huge corner of AlpenFest. So really excited to see what Cedar Fair / Six Flags has whipped up in terms of that. But outside of that, you're just going to see a lot of track and support work take place over the coming 2 weeks. They are getting really close to being able to essentially complete this ride. So right now it looks like they're pretty far out, but again, this is something that I could totally see them being able to finish by the end of February, weather permitting. So if we lose both Thursday, Friday this week, that might slow things down. There is a lot of snow coming Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They don't typically work weekends, but this company, Walters, is really good at hammering this coaster out. So I fully suspect once the caissons are done for the track in the mountain and that double inverted top hat, that they'll be able to just go in and install those, and they're going to be able to finish this thing pretty quickly. It looks like there's a lot of work left to do, but I assure you that there's a lot less work left to do in terms of track and installation than you realize. It's very easy pieces to install outside of the double inverted top hat. Everything else is very low to the ground, and they're able to do it with cherry pickers and a very small crane. So it's been a very easy install, especially with weather mostly cooperating so far up until now. But there is still signs of a lot of excavation work still going on inside the mountain, and that's what's been slowing them down. For example, yesterday they did hardly anything in terms of vertical construction because there were so many water excavators on site doing a lot of the drilling that was blocking them from lifting anything into place. So they were slowed down a little bit, but today they made up for it. They did probably one of the quickest expansions in terms of vertical construction that I've seen to date. And the shaping is absolutely brilliant. So I'm really excited to see them progress and see some of this further shaping take place. But yeah, so that's all I think I have to really say about AlpenFury right now. Again, a lot of the work we can't see inside the mountain, to sum things up, is building that support the caissons and the support structure for a Rockscapes themed launch tunnel. So you're going to see that, a Rockscapes themed launch tunnel, and that is going to take a lot of time as well, but they need the track in place before they can do that. But if I were to take a wild guess on what's taking place right now, those water excavators are probably tunneling those caissons for the support structure for that Rockscapes launch tunnel. So that is what I think is taking place, along with, as you can tell, they're using water excavators to do those caissons for the double inverted top hat. And if you've been paying attention to these construction updates, that's been a really long process. They've been doing about a week's worth just for one footing with the water excavators. So again, it's a really complex coaster. in terms of design and spacing and all that. So it's been a really complex build. Anyways, thank you so much for watching today's construction update. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And yeah, stay tuned for another one. Have a good one, guys. Bye.